See, some people, they automatically see the bandanas or the lokes or my mohawk and they automatically judge me, never getting to know me and see what kind of man I am in the inside, my character. But because I grew up in poverty, because I grew up in the streets, you can hear it in some of my language. I'm what you call is a thug, someone that roamed the streets and did vandalism and got drunk, did drugs, fucked off, and just didn't give a fuck. There's a difference between a thug and a gangster. A gangster is willing to die for a color, red or blue, yellow, red, I don't know what fucking colors they do now, green, pink and shit. Or they have like 18th Streets or Fresno Bulldogs or East Side, West Side, North Side, MS-13, Norteño, Structure, Mexican Mafia, all that stupid bullshit. They're willing to die for something they can never own or a color that we all use with the color crayons and shit to paint a pretty picture, right? So, but one and the same, the thug and the gangster, they're both living a life that they just don't give a fuck about themselves, the community, or life in general. Most people have a good heart, but because of the poverty that they're in, when you're asking a government every month for some food stamps, when you're asking a government every freaking month just to keep a roof over your head, to provide a little bit of shelter or a life for your family, you keep people in the gutter as bottom feeders. That's not ever helping someone out of their situation. You just keep them where they're at. But see, that's what I try to do with my videos. I try to explain all these type of things to you guys. The streets, schools, government, politics, society, and stuff as a whole, and even God. So hopefully you guys like some of these videos and I come up with some good topics that you guys share or you guys want to come back each and every week. So let's get this video started and see how it goes. Going on, man? Charlie about checking it out. Look at what I'm about to is gonna be. What the hell happened? Let's get it started. See, America, what I come to realize, Americans don't really understand what happened to this country and why we're up shit creek and why you feel that it's freaking hopeless and you can't understand how you can't keep paying your bills, keep a little bit of food in your pantry, or even keep a savings anymore. But this is what happened, people. See, there's a new world government being orchestrated all around the world. They have to break away all country sovereignties, everybody's rights. But how are they going to do it? The way they did it was economically, right? Financially. They tied all world's economy together. But the way they did it, we have to go back hundreds of years. In 1912, when they enacted the Federal Reserve, they gave a monetary system, the monetary power of controlling the United States government, to a privatized banks, a new world government. It's worse than communism. So they need an endless supply of money to do this. So in 1965, see, like I told you, it takes a long time to do this. In 1965, President Nixon got us out the gold standard. And what that did to the American dollar, it gave it a fiat currency. Now they can just print as much money as they want because it has nothing backing it, no gold or silver, no hard commodity backing it. Or they can just type in some numbers digitally and they can just send the money wherever they are around the world. So as they tied all countries' economies together, they went to all the Asian countries, they told them this back in the 50s. They said, look, what we're gonna do is send all our manufacturing sector to you guys over there in China, Taiwan, the Philippines, and Japan, and all that kind of stuff. But in order to do that, you have to trade in American dollars. So what do you think all those Asian countries did? They made a deal with the devil. So then the government went to all the Arab countries and they asked them this. Look, if you want to be really, really rich, the way we'll do it is we're going to stop drilling oil in our country and we're going to buy it all from you guys. We'll make you guys billionaires. But in order to do this, you have to trade in the American dollar. Are you willing to take the deal? So all the Arab countries made the deal with the devil. So now there's one other obstacle in their ways. It was all the dictators and all the other rogue nations. So that's why they went and put the United Nations together. Because there was some countries that didn't want to write off their sovereignties. So they're like, okay, don't even worry about it. We'll get to you guys later. But there's just one little tiny part that just wasn't going to go along with this. And that was the American people. The American people understood that all their rights are going to be wiped away. The Constitution is going to be irrelevant and all this is going to be wiped away. The American people wouldn't stand for it. So what they started to do is give them government jobs. Government jobs pay a lot more better than a private sector. And they can't employ everybody by the government. So now we put unions into the mix. Because most unions take government subsidies, government bids to keep their doors open. Because you like that 401k, you like the retirement, you like the medical benefits, and hey, keep paying me, right? But there's a lot more Americans that have to be distracted or paid off too. So they have to give them Social Security, disability, food stamps, welfare, WIC, and all these other socialist programs to keep everybody distracted, entertained, or paid off. See, when you get a society of give me, or entitlements, you get a country that's willing to sacrifice a lot more things if they weren't backed into a corner. So that's why Americans in the very, very near future are going to be backed into a corner, and they're going to be like, hey, what happened? I understand. The banking system collapsed, and what happened? Well, now you're begging, and you keep them in poverty. And how many people today are looking for the government to provide that income to them? But more than half this country is asking for a handout. Even you that work, you're asking for a handout from your freaking government. But that's a very, very big pill to swallow. That's really hard to get somebody to grasp that they were duped like that. But it's not just you people, it's all around the world that they did this to. So now that they tied all the world together, all the countries financially together, they got the people distracted, they kept them deceived, they kept the world at bay by entertained, busy. They don't understand the severity of the grasp of what's going on today in this world. There's a new world government being orchestrated right now, people. And all country sovereignties are going to be wiped away. Global tyranny, global enslavement is what you're passing on to your kids. But see, how do we as people come to realize or understand the truth? First and foremost, the people have to be told the truth. But people think that their politicians and their media is going to do that to them because somebody eventually would tell the people the truth, right? But no, they're just like you guys. You want them to take away their livelihood. How are they going to provide for their family to do the right thing if they're going to lose their job or be killed off or be silenced? Whenever someone stands up to tell you guys the truth, like Joseph Moshe, they'd be wiped out or they're freaking end up being missing. So that's why the media is not telling you guys these things. That's why the government is willing to throw you guys under the bus. You keep electing politicians, America, not Americans like me and you, average Americans. A politician is a special breed of people. They're willing to sell their soul. They're willing to throw the country under the bus and throw away their kids' futures for the almighty dollars to have that little bit of power. Because that's what's at stake. It's global government power. And you ain't ever going to have the opportunity to ever succeed, ever get to the top, or ever provide yourself a better future because you're giving your future generations, your kids, a global enslavement. So how do we fix it as people, as the average person? What legs do we have to stand on? First and foremost, you have to be told the truth and understand what it is. So that's why I do these videos for you guys in each and every week. But how do we do that to the communities? Well, at least in my city, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm with this group called We Are Change Fresno. We put out these videos and we give out show these viewings of movies and get out this literature and all these stuff in the communities all the freaking time. But it's all mainly in an individual basis. Or when we have the viewings of our videos, just like maybe 10 or 20, 30 people come. But we need the community to come together as a whole. Put your differences aside, left, right, black, white, rich, poor. That all needs to stop today. We need to come together for the greater good, for humanity. So what we're going to start doing is going to be called Charlie the Box, and We Are Change Fresno presents The Elephant in the Room. Well, all I'm asking you guys to do is come to these meetings, right? And what I need you to do is take some notes. Because I think that the board of members that I have, that I asked to be on the council with me, or to give the people the information, got a shitload of information just like I do. But information does us no good if we can't share with you guys. So in this meeting, what it is, it's not speakers gonna tell you guys things, it's the community gonna ask us questions and we're gonna give you those answers. But after we give you those answers, we want you to write them down. Go home and educate yourself to tell you if we give you some viable information. But if we did and you liked it, the thing that needs to happen is we're gonna start doing it every 2 weeks in our local communities. And if you liked it the first week, you have to come back in the next 2 weeks. But you need to bring somebody with you. You need to bring your family members, your brother, your sisters, your neighbors. And then what that does is empowers the communities. It educates the people, and we take that power away from the federal government and the state government, and you bring it back to your local community. Because that's why your government structure was formed the way it was, as a republic. See, back in the days in America, we were taught about our Constitution and God. And after lunch, that's when you learn mathematics, history, grammar, and all those type of things. But see what they've done to us? They've done it to us in our educational system, in the media, in government. They got us to adopt socialism and communism. All these things, these entitlements that you feel that you're entitled to today, those will all come from communism and socialism. That's what's wrong in this country, people. We've adopted all these bad programs that made other countries, other regimes fail and collapse. It's never, ever making things better for the people. It's just in enslaving them. Getting you to beg each and every month for a little bit more. Can I get a little bit more, master? Can I get a little bit more? See, people, there was some great men that changed the world around in their communities, but it affected everybody globally. That was Martin Luther King and Gandhi. But they didn't ever did it by themselves. They had the people with them. I could keep bringing you guys this information and bringing up all these analogies and putting all these things together, but if you're not gonna educate yourself or start telling people the truth or start showing them these videos or start doing the right thing, all you're doing is passing on this responsibility onto your kids and your grandchildren. It's like this. We as parents and as grandparents, we made a deal with the devil to turn a blind eye. But what he told you was this: you're gonna, at the end of this, I want your soul or one of your family members. You're gonna have to pay up this debt. So we as parents and as grandparents, we just kept going through our lives and we kept postponing, and then we died. But what happens is the devil goes to your kids and your grandchildren and says, okay, which one of you guys is gonna give me your soul? Your grandma and grandpa made the deal, but I told them one of you guys is gonna have to pay for it. They weren't man enough or woman enough to pay their soul up, so it's gonna be one of you guys to do it. In some way, that's what's happening. You could believe it or not, the country, as the people, we made a deal with the devil, and it's bad. But the only way to fix it is to repent and get God back into your life. That's how we fix it. The only legs that we got to stand on as Americans or globally around the world is the Bible and God, because that could change the world. That performed miracles, people. Look into it. It's the truth. And then, as Americans, all we got to stand on is the Constitution. But it's hanging on by a thread. I only weigh 130 pounds, I'm only 5'3", and I can't pull that shit down by myself. But if I could get all you guys to put a hand on it, and we all pull down together, we could pull down this freaking fake ass federal government that we have today that's taking away our liberties and our rights. I could keep going on for days for all this kind of information, but I gotta cut it short and I have to hurry up and go do other things. I'm still asking other people for their helps today just to process these videos. But you know what? By me not having a computer, it ain't gonna stop me from doing what I feel in my heart, what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's bringing you guys this information each and every week. So hope you guys get something out of it. I hope you guys do something today. And because if you don't, like I told you guys every freaking time, if you're not gonna do everything in power to restore your life, liberty, and this country, you're gonna do everything in power to destroy it. Charlie Box out.
Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group, and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests. I know this is hard for you Americans to imagine, but please try. I will tell you what democracy is. Democracy is the worst. Endless talking and listening to every stupid opinion, and everybody's vote counts, no matter how crippled or black or female they are. Democracy! Woo!